All right, friend. In this section, we're going to connect some dots here for you. Here in Revelation chapter 12, I want to highlight specifically where the man child, and Jesus referring to himself as the Son of Man 83 times in the Gospels, he's pointing to the prophecy in Daniel chapter 7. Why is this important? Because as you just learned, the shifting of the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, this is a major statement in human history for the U.S. to declare, no, Jerusalem is the capital. You see, at some point there had to be an emphasis back to Jerusalem in order for all the end times events to be fulfilled throughout the book of Revelation, as well as Daniel and Ezekiel and a lot of these other apocalyptic writings. It's very important. So, in Daniel chapter 7, we're being pointed back to, okay, this one who receives an everlasting kingdom, the Son of Man, okay? At the very beginning, Daniel sees these four beasts rise up, okay? And the fourth one being the system of Antichrist, okay? The one in whom is the horn that speaks great things, right? He's got a boastful mouth. He makes war against the saints. You know, all this stuff in Revelation 13 makes war against the saints. He's got a big mouth, you know, yada, yada, yada. And he usurps authorities. You see this horn takes out three other kings at him. So this 10-horned beast, right, that's shown. Well, in succession of the beasts in Daniel chapter 7, the first one to show up is the lion with two wings of an eagle. Wow. The woman in Revelation 12 was given the two wings of the eagle, not a bird, not a chicken, but the wings of the eagle were given to the woman Israel. You see, these wings were plucked off of the lion to stand on its own. And I would encourage you, if you're not familiar with Daniel 7, pause this video, go read it, and then come back here, okay? The second beast to rise up that Daniel sees is that of the bear. Then the third beast is that of a four-headed leopard with the wings of a bird, not an eagle, different than the lion. And then the fourth beast to rise up is this 10-horned beast, different than the others. It's not going to be able to impact the earth, right? The Lord interprets for Daniel what these are. These are the last four empires, the last four kingdoms, and then after that fourth one, it's all going to get stripped away, because to the Son of Man is given the everlasting dominion, which will destroy all this stuff. But the previous ones before this 10-horned beast, they have their time, and they had their time to rule. Okay, so we see that if we were to go backwards, the system of Antichrist, the 10-horned beast, is present when the Lord returns and destroys it all, okay? Before then, this four-headed leopard, whoever that four-headed leopard, will be the preceding one who calls the shots in world affairs, okay? And then preceding that will be the bear, and preceding that would be this weird interchange moment of the lion that had wings, but the wings kind of became its own. So in one aspect, the wings kind of is its own nation per se, but it's not truly connected to the lion, but it kind of once was. So if we were to reverse time, if the Lord is soon to return, then the 10-horned beast should begin to rise, within our midst. And the four-headed leopard is coming to the end of its influence on the earth, okay? So let's backtrack in history. If we're to come close to the return of the Lord, in which most of us feel like we're in this final generation, this final push before the return of the Lord, then we've already seen a lot of this take place. We have the vantage point of human history. Was there anything associated with the animal features of an eagle that broke away from a lion years and years ago? Well, actually, yeah, the Great Britain is known as the lion. And oftentimes this issue of lions throughout Scripture points to the British Empire in the area of Great Britain. Well, the wings of the eagle broke off in 1776. The wings of the eagle broke off and became its own nation. Well, as we begin to have its major influence during our constitutional founding and 100 years after, friends, 100 years, within 100 years of America's constitutional founding, you ready for this? Mankind took a 5,000-year leap. Wow, 5,000-year leap. Mankind went from fire to electricity. It went from horse and buggy to airplanes, and getting ready to fly to the moon. We went from, crazy, amazing ways of doing life to just, this 5,000-year leap. It was amazing. Okay, so we've had our heyday. And then we begin to lose steam, if you will. The Industrial Revolution, right? We begin to lose steam as Marxism began to invade the minds. In the late 1800s, early 1900s, begin to invade the minds of universities and begin to corrupt leaders that were here in America and stuff. And so then what began to show up? Well, everyone knows that in Bible prophecy, the bear represents Russia, the Marxist Russia going up, and so they begin to rise in, phenomenal strength and power in influencing world affairs in the early 1900s, which then kind of spawned off, well, in World War II, Adolf Hitler, Nazi Germany, all that is known as the Third Reich. So there was the third form of leadership of Germany. So if Adolf's the Third Reich, the third head, then the fourth head has to come after him in influencing world affairs. It was funny here a handful of years ago. It just kind of went undetected, but Germany, they demanded that they get all their gold back from the U.S. treasuries. Interesting. That's if they might be preparing for some kind of economic situation. You do the math. And so the Fourth Reich, I believe we are seeing its influence through the leadership supervision under Davos and the world elites, and by a man by the name of Klaus Schwab. He's, you can do your own research. I've done mine. And his father was actually part of the whole movement with Nazi Germany and the manufacturing, a lot of those things. You do your homework. I've done mine. And just don't take my word for it. But I believe that how everything went down with a lot of elections in the world affairs, as well as everyone's response, the elite's response in the world concerning the pandemic, who did they take the nod from? The World Economic Forum, right? Very powerful people, very powerful people. So this is giving way to the 10-horned beast that's rising up, right? So Jesus, when he returns, he will crush the system. And he is the one who is fit to rule planet Earth, not the other. No one else in human history is fit to rule planet Earth. So, and one of the interesting things about Revelation chapter 13 we're going to get into, I'm going to pull from a forward moment. I'm going to do like John here, pull from the future to bring into now, is the descriptions of the system of the beast in Revelation 13 has 3 animal characteristics: the lion, the leopard, and the bear. There's no wings of the eagle mentioned here, friend. No wings of the eagle. Where's the wings of the eagle? They're protecting Israel. How amazing is that?